so just sort of make room for them when they come in. I'd like to welcome you. We are so thrilled to have you here tonight. I want to thank you for your support of the South Carolina State Library, for public library support of the arts, and your commitment to cultural preservation of our shared and unique history. Tonight was made possible by the South Carolina State Library Board, who support my interest in sharing culturally significant events with members of our community. And we have one member of our board here tonight, and Martha Marshall, sitting in the middle. Thank you for coming. She was so excited when we decided to do this, and said, I'm absolutely coming. She was probably one of the first people to RSVP, so thank you for your support of what we're trying to do. And I'd also like to thank Ashley Till and her staff. She's the manager of this area. And just to acknowledge your contribution, Ashley, for taking my vision from just a tiny little nugget for our events to this unimaginable event that we have tonight. We had 99 people RSVP for this event. So it really challenged the staff's ability to reconfigure this floor, which they did this morning. So thank you, and to your staff for that. We are also thankful for our sponsors, and a list of those sponsors you can find in the front of your program. I would like to ask you to please silence your cell phones. We feel fortunate to have photographer Pete Miravich's work on exhibit, which explores the lives and culture of the Gullah Geechee people. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at that this evening. Mr. Miravich's work highlights South Carolina's ties to the Gullah Geechee culture while capturing everyday moments of work, play, worship, and the resilience of the Gullah Geechee people, who are under increasing pressures from encroaching developments. Tonight, we are honored to hear from our guest speaker, Queen Quet, who is the founder of the advocacy organization, the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition. In addition to her work with the Gullah Geechee community, Queen Quet is also an author. Her books are on back order for us, so stay patient with us, and we will have them soon for you to borrow. She's a computer scientist, a lecturer, a historian, mathematician, preservationist, environmental advocate, and along with numerous other accomplishments, some of those which you can see in the front of your program as well. She will be presenting her involvement with Mr. Miravich, which I understand has spawned, has taken place over the several years together, and a couple of geographic locations also. On his amazing collection of black and white images discussing issues that the Gullah Geechee communities currently face and the significant role that the Gullah Geechee people had in shaping our shared and unique history here in South Carolina. Afterwards, we'll have a book signing if you'd like to participate in that. Sit back and enjoy this time that we have together to learn more about the Gullah Geechee community and the importance of cultural preservation. Please stand and join me in welcoming Queen Quet.
God. Now, I don't say children will come across Reggie. I don't have to talk about the truth. Then I know what we be. Then they come here and think like that, and then I hear them going to the car. All right, I was the Lord. That's it. Oh, great God, what we children come. Hey, look what I said, what him? I said, oh, somebody, I ain't know all we did, and they got squirm, God said we in there. Hey, oh, I know. See, why get your own stuff? Yellows them say, girl, just live. And great God, the day we tell the truth, but that leave it up back in the deep right show. And when I left on stand, why they gonna go on deathly? Near born in grab God, have a pray for this your life. Pray for your children. Pray for God bless them yet. But some come on the creek, y'all. Come on the field, y'all. And brothers, come into this show. Come into this show. So great God, how I like to see it now. These children ain't one man thing want to see in a prayer. Dog! Because I ain't know what it was. Because they can't get no strength. Even in time we were getting together, and now what I want to have you kept your sense. But now, all them children think, oh, this your kind of sense. You can't be got this your kind of sense. That's great. Go ahead, take the time to dig. So you go on the shoreline and things like that, back on you gotta go out there and do all kind of things. Now we get there, all kind of people that do all kind of things out there. Listen, what him? If people don't understand, we don't build all the way to the water and things like that. Turn off your cameras and phone and things, please. We don't build out in the water because we need this your water and things, but we have to put that part. But then I understand that. You know what he said? He said, oh, great God, they ain't know what they're talking about. How we ain't know what we're talking about? We think you're born to that. We have to tell them, there's your creature and they don't want to run underneath your house. You would build a house right there. We used to have farmland and things like that. And right off when we were going out for baptized. None of us go there no more. Because people are putting kids across the road and things. Say, you can't go yonder till the dark. You can't go yonder till the light. See the line things. Afraid to get over these young kind of things. Now when they come together, they'll go out yonder and crack and keep the other rest what they out there and say, look here. We're going to have to live y'all. God make them so we dare y'all for all what we've been through. Or they fight for me. But how is you? People act like you just get them drugs. And they'll say blood, sweat, tears they'll take. Every piece of sweet grass you pull up. Oh, you feel it, baby. Feel it, baby. Oh, that you got a soul for you going. But then I understand, even when they gone, ain't gone for me. Because all the ancestors, we buried them alongside that water. Water to bring we. Water to take we. And next, hell be that. We've been out showing and along for calves and things like that. We haven't gone out standing tall. But get what it said, get just live. Oh, so when we shout with them in that place house together and things like that, great God, none you wouldn't even know. Boy, then none y'all forget long and this like that. Because you ain't want everything be good after when I'm going there. I'm playing that song, some people like for start up there, all they want to talk about, they buy and buy. When did Lord come for you? All that kind of thing. Look here. All that sweetness can't be all on another something. What do you have supposed to be one up if you pray? Oh, we used to shout for that thing. If you pray right, heaven belongs to you. If you pray right, heaven belongs to you. If you pray right, heaven belongs to you. Oh, heaven belongs to you. We have no say. And the Buckle and Heavy Reader sing with it. They've been a kind of to be heaven. And I'm trying to make them a living hell for me. But trying to throw me out in heaven. But move we from that shore. We haven't no such thing. And now the rest of you, said, man, come in here and see. Well, you know, the people that think most gone. I said, great God, what people that miss? Because great God, my family's still around here. I know what people you on top of most gone. My people right here. And I ain't mean it like that. Well, what do you mean? Say what you mean. And mean what you say. He said, no, I mean, is it gonna get you people? What about it? He said, well, you know, I've been to live on Hill there. Well, you have torn off there. No, ma'am, yes, sir. He said, but what I want to do, because I notice even while I'm there, more and more of your people are going from you. I said, because more and more of your people are coming in here. And he said, well, I want to take pictures. What you going to do with the pictures? I said, because plenty of people been to take pictures of you. And nobody asked them for taking no picture. And they asked, can they take me picture? So we know they were no manners. Because if they were hot manners, they would have asked you, is it okay if I can take your picture? And now, just because they got picture on the bra strap, they got picture on the bottom of the shoe, they got camera on the drawers, they can always take your picture. No! Ask the person, ma'am or sir, is it all right if I take your picture? Because notice the word that goes take. So now you done take piece of who that person done. And we will take them wine, really wine with them. What am I going to do with them after you take them? Because all these other rest of people are going to take from me. We don't have enough take from me. We ain't want nothing else take tall. So keep your camera on. He said, well, no, but see, the thing is, if you don't document, I said, here we go again with that word y'all like for you. Who tell when I said we in a document we all think? I know how to write. I don't document me own thing for me own people. And I know I carry that to some. What you want with the people? He said, no, see, I want to help. How you going to help me by taking pictures? He said, because what I want to do is if I can take the pictures and I can put them out in other rest of places, you know, then what he's going to do, he want to get him other rest of people out China to understand who we are on the heart. I said, let me help you something with that. Who tell you we want more people out China? But know where we are in that. Not for y'all to know that. Not for both day upon the shelf and things like that. We put y'all in them and things like that. And guess what? And not a living soul will ever give you a copy of one picture. I said, I don't know how much a museum and thing I done gone in and see my people face on the wall and thing, and then you look put name and what's on it. And I couldn't tell them who that are in the picture. I said, so no manners, yeah. How you take the person picture? And you ain't first remember their name? You ain't ask them for writing name down. You ain't put a name with the picture when you were throwing on the wall. And then rest of us, y'all to sell postcard, poster, all kind of things, and we know you put your camera with. He said, oh, no. I said, well, yeah. I said, tell me that ain't true. Oh, no, ma'am, I ain't say that ain't true. Okay, then. I ain't got time for a story with you. What you want with me? Because you ain't gonna get you talk. I know that last name there ain't another wheel. He said, no, ma'am, I'm not. He said, well, I'm a white guy, but I'm a journalist. And I lived here, and I seen what's happening. I don't like what's happening, but I think it needs to be documented. So in the future, somebody else could see what I saw before it's gone. I said, see, that's the problem I have right there. Y'all always want somebody to go someplace. Why we got to be gone? We done been here and reading the wine with Tom. So he said, I said, yeah, for truth, you need to come off that Hilton and you need to come across a couple bridges over the other side. Then you'll see the difference. I know what's going on over that water on that side, but I'll tell you what's going on in this water on this side, the Broad River. Come over here. Now you can. But a little bit shocked, you know, because it's the same county. It is a county called Beaufort. Beaufort South Carolina. Beautiful. By the sea. Hey, he said, wow. I said, but we right here. I said, but you won't go South Low. You won't go Hilton Head and ride around the golf cart. You won't go on a place where the right folk, because the right folk them, because less than 100 of them did. They ain't the right folk we, because 10,000 of we did on you. So it don't make a good victim story for the newspaper, right? And you're a journalist, right, sir? I said I can communicate your language as well because I, in fact, thought about studying journalism until I found out that part of being a journalist was jumping out of bushes and stuff while people coming out their house trying to catch stories, running mics in people's face when they don't want them there. I'm not doing that no manner stuff. My mom didn't raise me like that. So for me, journalism is you do writing with the person who allows you to engage with them. And you share their story, not your interpretation of their story. So now what are we doing when you take these pictures? But see, these pictures ain't gonna talk to you. Oh, but I'll talk about you. If I find my picture, or anybody in my family picture, out here with your name on it, and none of our names on it, I'm gonna remember your name. I'll never forget it. He said, I sure ain't forgot yours. So from then on, a partnership develops. And that's the only kind of developments I like happening in my life. Let's develop things together. You remember when photographs required develop? You remember? I ain't the oldest one in the room. I'm trying to act cute. You still do it? They all think it's all out there in the cloud instead of in the camera. Y'all remember this? Why you laugh? Thought you didn't know. Thought you didn't know. What was that? What was that? So, Polaroids. When Polaroids came out, we were, as we say, high cotton, right? Because you didn't have to wait to send the pictures off the little black tube. You didn't have to drop it at the store in the envelope. You drop it in there and all that, come back and pay. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to pay a professional photographer that had a dark room to develop them or anything. Oh, we was good. We were like, what? Girl, I have your picture ready and that comes right? But that need for speed is what has started to kill not only communities and cultural heritage, but the environment itself. Because here it is that Hilton Head, for instance, wanted to go ahead and get people just from one end of the island to the other in a hurry. They done got there. They done traveled from around the world to get to you. And you mean they still got to go faster than that once they get there? So yeah, we're going to put this thing called the Cross Island Expressway so that we can hurry up and go from the entrance where most of the Gullah Geechee people houses still were, and hurry up and get them to the other end where most of the resorts and gated areas in a fast move. When we move like this, you don't move fast. For us, we go with the flow of the time. So the stress that started coming, as people saw the speed of people coming in, them jokers, they ain't going fast. There's some good food coming. You don't plan to go to no baptism in a hurry. All right? Nothing about our lives going on a shrimp boat. You don't rush no shrimp boat out there with the trawler just going. Get it? Come on. All right, right on back to the dock. Come in, let's go. It don't work like that. So to us, we're going, what is wrong with these people? Why are they in a hurry to get nowhere? As people used to say, going nowhere. Say it loud. That's right. Say not going going nowhere fast. And then after you get to nowhere, you say, well, this is not developed. we need to get this out the way because we need to put this here. We need a clubhouse. And we'd love to have oysters, but are they local? No, they're not local because the runoff from that building you built actually caused them to close that oyster bed. So, no, they're not that local. They're from some other area. Might be still in the state, but they ain't right here. All right? We used to go right there, cast, right where you are now. And we could draw in what we needed. We drew in the spirit of what we needed. Because our praise houses are on the water too. Everything for us is about this water. It's about being able to go out without docks. But all of a sudden, everybody who had a lot wanted a dock right outside their place. They couldn't see this as important to feed the cows. They don't see being able to look out into the shore and come and do tributes to your ancestors as anything important. To them, it's about how much of that coastline can we own? How much can I keep to my oneself? Instead of that one person keeping all this and growing all this to feed the family that's coming home for that family reunion, usually around 4th of July time. Y'all know how we do. All right? And then, when they get there, they don't want no dry corn. You better have that shrimp. Better have some crab. Better have some oyster that hunted on freeze or when the oyster season been going on. But all that we do was covered by other people's culture as they came in quickly under the dark of night in some cases. All you know is the next day you go to a landing, you can't get to it anymore because the sign is they're talking about no trespassing with a chain across it. An area that before you went for burial, somebody's coming out there out this place saying, well, I live here now, why are y'all using this road? You can't come down this road. We've been coming down this road for 300 years when our soldiers fought here on this coast. Who are you? I live here now. Well, guess what? You better go back in that building where you say you live at because this road don't belong to you. And then folks end up in court over roads, over water, over the coastline, over their burial areas because somebody else said it's not developed. So what has developed is a sense of entitlement for that need for speed. You can't tell me not to go ahead and do this certain thing. If my house can be put up in 1 week, I'm going to put it up in 1 week. And guess what? It's going to take 1 hour when the hurricane comes through here to knock that joker down. Because as an engineer, and I'm a scientist, I'm telling you, that little clap mold house, that's what we used to call them, but I know they modular homes. It's modular homes that they sell people to the tune of 6 figures. And they tell you, oh, yes, no problem. We can just add a little bonus on top of that cost of that house to get it out there as quickly as you like it. It'll be out. They don't tell you how quick it comes down. They don't tell you about Big Daddy Mama and house was been there since 1898. That's been take a month for all the man in the community come together to put up that little 2-bedroom house. How that 2-bedroom house still standing out for Gracie Stone. After David, after Floyd, after Irma, after Matthew. Done gone through all that. And it's still young. Because one of the things that all the people would tell you to, take your time. Tarry a little while. And when you 15, you never take your time. You 18, you really ain't taking your time. You could take some time, but ain't the kind of taking a time they're talking about. And you 21, oh, that's it. Okay? You trying to do all you can. You like, what you talking about? I'll sleep when I'm dead. I got to do this. Right? But that's that age where many Gullah Geechees start leaving home. Because now they're thinking about what teachers used to have put in their minds. There's nothing here for you. That's what they told me. Someone as smart as you has to go somewhere else. You can't live here. Why would you want to stay here? Maybe because my whole family for multiple generations is here? neighborhood you live in? I was that person. They could never answer that. But they would try to give you answers like, oh, well, you'll have more opportunities out there. You won't have to do the same kind of work that people had to do here, which is true. Because most people don't believe you're a Gullah Geechee unless you come dressed for this kind of work. That's why I came out appropriately dressed so that y'all do know I am a real Gullah Geechee. But guess what? It's Friday, right? Work over, right? So when we get ready to go somewhere, we don't wear them same clothes. But most of what people have documented, most of what people have written about us, most of what the exhibits have shown make you believe if we don't have our head tied, that ain't us, right? If we don't have a sweetgrass basket, that ain't us, right? If you ain't in a cotton field, that ain't us, right? If you ain't out there getting some indigo together and your hands ain't dyed blue, that ain't us, right? Well, might not be us, but it's me. And they ain't letting me have to come for standing no need of prayer. I'll take prayer any day, any time. But the reality is, the shadow that Pete decided to talk about in this exhibition is the shadow that's been cast over a 400-plus year legacy of people who had the intellectual fortitude to bring with them their scientific gifts and talents to North America. They were not chosen randomly. The Igbo, Mandinka, Malinke, Yoruba, Gola, Gizi, Mendi, Temi, Efik, Ibibio, and other African ethnic groups that now make up my bloodline, that are part of my ancestry, along with the Kusabo, the Yamasee, the Adisto, the indigenous people that were here. These were not ignorant people. These were not illiterate people. If they were illiterate, we wouldn't have needed South Carolina to create the 1740 slave code that said that no Negro should read or write. Because if they weren't doing it, you wouldn't make a law to prevent it. Africans were reading and writing when they were kidnapped. Africans gave language to the world. Timbuktu was our greatest library. But because someone else came in, conquered, divided, burned. I know librarians don't cringe. I feel the same way when we hear burning of books. They burned books numerous times in his story so that he could rewrite it. But in regard to my people, they never burned the books because they wrote the books. While we passed our stories orally, as is our tradition, they were capturing and taking those stories, altering those stories through their interpretive lens. Then when a camera lens came, they added photography to it, and then they bound it and they sold it to the world. And over time, they sold stories of ignorance and things like this, and saying that people didn't know how to properly articulate the English language because of the size of their lips and their noses. These are the types of things I've read that people claim they wrote about people on the Sea Islands. I said, is that the case? Wow, what happened to me then? I think I know how to articulate English. You can understand me. Pretty clearly? Thank you, ma'am. You too? Thank you. So enemy, as we say, right? So I don't know how they came up with that interpretation, but it was so. And it was believed so much so, missionaries and public school teachers would beat us, literally, if they heard you speaking Go. Tell you that's not proper English. Well, darling, let me know, okay? I go to England often, and the Queen there doesn't believe Americans speak English at all. It's not proper what you do. So the proper term is it's about who thinks they know. But thinking you know and actually knowing is different. So it's the people that live the culture and traditions that know. They know what they're doing in these images. I don't have to explain it. They know what it is to live this life in the water, on the water, all with the water around her, and all the water all run through her. And that's why I always tell people, look, this is the land that we found and the waterway that we bought. And people look at me and say, wow. I said, yeah, wow. So how would you feel if someone came to you and said, can I buy your thing? How would you feel if someone said, well, they ain't gonna hurt too much. I could put a little poison in the water. You'd have a problem, I think. So it was nice to hear from Pete and know that, as they told me in the Western world, he had a thick skin. That he could handle a native that had the audacity to know his language and my own, that they look at it, and knew how to use the internet, could communicate with him, would communicate with him, and would call him on anything that seemed like it was exploited at any moment in time. And that won't change after tonight either. So it's been very interesting, this journey of how the shadow now is being cast. Because there's so many places and institutions that are intrigued by the images that Pete captured for more than a decade and a half. He shot photographs. At various times, he lived in the Seattle, then he moved to Capitol Hill. Don't get me wrong. He moved to Washington, D.C. area and shoots pictures there back and forth. Every time I was there, he'd hear about it after and be upset that he couldn't take shots of me actually calling these people out on the hill. I said, but I believe in divine order, so if you were supposed to be there, you wouldn't. But just what you're supposed to do and when it's supposed to happen, happens. So it's just like this journey to being in this place, in this space today. No one would have ever told me that you will speak in the state capital of South Carolina, much less on the floor of the state capital, and be honored there with a resolution for your work, keeping your people on your land. God bless the day. Clementa Pinckney led that resolution. It was passed unanimously years ago. No one would say to me, you're going to be honored by them for being a person for government advocacy and be the first one they do it. And Reynolds, nobody would tell me that the state library wasn't at the HBCU, South Carolina State, that university. But then to say, you will come and you will speak there, and people will actually RSVP and still be ringing their phone off the day of the event. Because in the Midlands, they're supposed to be scared of us. You don't pull up with them keys, you don't pull up with them keys. And in the up country, I'm telling you, this is a quote. Thought you were a legend. This woman was 85 years old and came to hear me speak at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. And that woman had tears running down her face when she got to the mic. And there was a line from here to the end down there for people to speak on that mic. And gradually, people realized it was an elder, and they kind of let her come on up a little further. And when she got to that mic, she said, Queen Quetta, it's an honor to be here with you today. That's right. Come on, that's right. She said, because I'm from South Carolina. I said, oh, yes, ma'am. And she named her town. I said, oh, but that's upcountry. She said, yes. She said, but all my life, I thought y'all were legends. I heard of the Geishas, and I thought you were legend. And now I can tell people you're real. So I pray that the shadows of Gullah Geechee don't cast another shadow over our people and hide who we are and cover us up in a manner that others think we ought to look like, for them to accept that we're real. But that it actually helps people to emerge from the shadows into light with understanding. And that's why it was so important to me when I did get the invitation to come to Columbia, to say, come to this library and help enlighten the people. I said, oh, I love books. Said, you could just lock me in the building, I could stay there and none of the people come, and I still would be fine. But if they show up, I still do my job that they asked me to do. But I love to bring the pages to life, because anybody who's a reader and a writer, you know the pages only speak by your voice, based on your imagination of what you're reading. And even if there's imagery, you see one thing, somebody else might see another. That's why with our spirituals, we be yet one thing, and if I go all the way on, I'll be yet something else. So it's always the code switching that has existed within my people, and I don't expect the code to stop switching with this kind of shadows of God. So I'm sure Some of my supporters in the audience, I see y'all all the time. Y'all stalk me all the time. You probably wonder, what's she doing not wearing purple tonight? Because that's my official color. But God said, you had that gown hanging for the last 2 years. This was the night. And I said, because it looks like a shadow. I said, but see, even amidst the shadow, you should realize a shadow can't be there if there's nothing real to cast it. So instead of chasing the shadow, why don't you find what caused the shadow? So if you do visit the olive, visit the olive. Visit the olive. If you visit the olive, visit. All right, visit don't mean stay. Visit. All right? We have dictionaries here, right? Google is active. System has Wi-Fi. Okay. If you visit them, come talk to the real people. Don't come on safari with a camera out like me and say, oh, I want to get these pictures of these folks before they go. We ain't going. Not if I got something to do with it. Not if my family got something to do with it. We have fought long and hard to honor our ancestral legacy, the blood, the sweat, and the tears that's in every bit of our islands from Jacksonville, North Kakalaki to Jacksonville, Florida, and 35 miles inland to the St. Johns River. If you see on the Gullah Geechee Nation flag, that tree that's in the middle, a statement that is a slogan of the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, which keeps getting misrepresented as a Gullah Geechee proverb, that Hunter wants to get the healing tree. And so, you see though, this tree is an African family tree. It's human bodies intertwined. We are inextricably tied together. We are inextricably tied and rooted in the land. So the shadows that we're used to are those at the end of that long day, after you have worked hard in the yard or out in the field, because we still playing on the food. We ain't planting no cotton no more. Not yet. And so, that Spanish moss hanging down casts a beautiful shadow. But it puts so much spirit in your heart if you tune in and you listen. Because the older the tree, the deeper the story will tell if your spirit is tuned in. And them trees we usually have somewhere near the house, but not over the house. We live in a hurricane zone, not over the house. And these kind of good evenings, you get a nice good fire going. Even if there's an oyster roasting in that fire, don't get hungry because they ain't got nothing for you tonight. An oyster roast going in that fire. You and your cousins and Big Daddy, Mama, them, and your mom and your brothers, and all of them sit around the fire, you know, and they start to talk about, remember when so-and-so been a boy? Remember so-and-so down the road, so-and-so something we happened? Yeah, you remember Greg? Girl, shut your mouth. Don't bring that thing up yet. All that time meaning keep going, keep talking. Here it is. We have an opportunity to keep talking about our soldiers, keep talking about our land and our water, keep talking about how it belongs to us. And we talk loud enough now that Hilton Head is now apologizing. And now the town mayor of Hilton Head last year, and they've been a part of our Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week from the beginning, just about. But they never would present me with their proclamation in their town chambers. The first time, one of the Gullah Geechee councilmen brought it to an affair to present. After that, they was mailed it. All the other towns, all the other counties wanted me present in the room to present it in front of everybody and on television. Hilton Head wouldn't do it. Then Horry County doesn't participate at all. They don't at all. Hilton Head decided last year to invite me to town council. I said, oh, they must have seen that everybody else had the queen in the building. I said, I would definitely be there. And that was the night that they then voted to create a Gullah Geechee Land Preservation Association. That would be a group of people that live on Hilton Head that can now work to preserve Gullah Geechee land. I said, funny, now that most of it's gone, you want to preserve it? Not gone, some is gone in the creek for real with the hurricanes. But, I mean, where it's out of the hands, it's been taken. Now you want to talk about it? So the last week, there's been 2 different articles coming off of Hilton Head about things that even people in gated communities are now doing to try to help some of the Gullah Geechees that work for them in gated communities to maintain the land ownership. And then that group is speaking out about the abomination of what was done in the first place. The genocidal things, who don't think all of it was lost to taxes. Some people were murdered for their land. Yes. And I've had death threats ever since I started the work that I've been doing. And people warn me all the time, Queen Quet, be careful, because there's a bunch of people literally gunning here. And I said, but guess what? My God is more powerful than anything they got. So let them come on with it. And yet, I'm still standing. And I'm not a shadow. I'm real. And so are we. All by the Shakur family. Right, 100 CV, if we had a big time like that, we're a basket, we're a basket. With high heel shoes or broke down boots, they still a hold on. And ain't the blind way. As we say, we've been there. I know y'all come here don't like to hear that, but we've been there. And we ain't going no way. And proud to be Gullah Geechee. So thank you, South Carolina State Library. Thank you for all 100 children who taught them not robbery, to not go to the club, but to come and greet the Queen in the Midlands. All right? I appreciate it.